Hello everyone! Welcome to my sewing series where I will bring you all along with me on my journey to perfect my sewing machine skills. And today I wanted to show you all how I made this scarf scrunchie. It is super easy. All you need is a square bandana and some elastic. And with that being said, I won't go on talking too much, but this is basically how it is going to look for you all. And let's get started. So here's the bandana that I will be using, and just so you guys can see, it is called Bear and Eat, and it is 53 by 53 centimeters, and I will also be using this pretty thin elastic to make the actual scrunchie itself. Alright, so the first thing I did with my bandana was keep it folded in half and make sure you lay it out pretty flat. You don't want any wrinkles or any folds on this. And then next I will take just about the size of like your ID card or something. That should do it. I just cut on one side, and then I'm going to make that cut all throughout lengthwise, and this whole length will be the actual body of the scrunchie. And just try to cut as straight as you can. I don't really use rulers and stuff like that. I just kind of wing everything, but after you're done, go ahead and turn everything inside out. So make sure that the right sides are facing each other and the wrong side is on the outside. And I will just sew along this line. Okay, so once you're done, you should have something that looks a little like this, just a long tube with the wrong sides facing out and the right side facing in. Okay, so next I'm going to take my thin elastic and I'm just going to cut just a little bit, not too much, just probably about the length of my hand maybe, just enough to make sure that the scrunchie can go around your hand while being stretched out. And I'm going to take my bodkin tool and run it through the inside of the tube that we just sewed, and until it pops out on the other side. And I'm going to use just a little tweezer clip to clip it onto the other end. And once it's secure, I'm going to pull it through all the way to the inside out. And this is going to turn the whole tube inside out. And if you don't have one of these tools, you can just use something as simple as like chopsticks or anything like that. And now with the right side facing out, we can put the elastic through. But before that, I will take the inside corner that we first sewed together and I will attach the corner of my elastic band to that just to secure it and make sure that it doesn't move around when we're trying to insert the elastic through the actual tube. So when you're done, you should have something that looks like this, just a couple of stitches, nothing fancy to hold it together. Okay, so now that we have one side secured, I'm going to take the other side and secure it to my tool with my clip. And once it's secured, I'm going to insert it through the tube where we sewed it on. And I'm going to basically just loop the entire elastic through the tube and make sure it comes out smoothly through the other side. Alright, and once it comes out on the other side, I'm just going to unclip it. And now that we have both sides, we can sew them together just like this. They don't have to be facing each other or anything, just as long as you can sew them crisscross and making sure that the needle goes through both elastics. Alright, so once you're done sewing, you should have something that looks a little like this, where your sewings are crisscross. Alright, so the next couple of stitches that we will be making are going to be seen on the outside of our project, so that's why I will be changing my color from black thread to white. That way you won't be able to notice the stitchings as more. Alright, now to close my scrunchie, I'm going to be first lining up where I did my initial stitches for the tube length, and I'm going to line them up as much as I can, and next I'm going to bring one side into the other, and I'm going to try to fold these sides inwards to make it look as seamless as possible. And once I have aligned the scrunchie all around, one inside the other, I'm going to start sewing them together. Alright, now that they are sewn together, you can see that the scrunchie is now ready, and you can honestly stop right here if you just want to make the scrunchie itself. It looks really cute, but now I will be working on the scarf portion. Okay, next I will be taking one out of the two pieces that was left over from my initial cut on the bandana, and I'm just going to fold over about 1/2 inch on the side that is cut, and I'm going to sew along that entire side just to get a straight stitch for my next step. So now that I have a straight edge on this side where my initial cut was on, now I'm going to bring them together kind of like hot dog style of the fold, and I'm going to keep the right side out instead of in like the beginning of the video. So next I'm going to sew along this entire side to make the panel a little skinnier. And this panel is going to create the scarf portion of the scrunchie. So once you're done, you should have something a little like this, and just simply cut the end threads where we finished our sewing. To put the pieces together, I'm going to take my scrunchie and my scarf portion, and where I have sewn the scrunchie together, that seam is where I'm going to make sure to make a knot using the scarf portion. So here I am making sure that the scarf is equal of the both sides, and now I'm going to make my knot, and just make sure to make it as neat as possible once you tie it together. And when I tied it, I made sure not to do it too tight, that way the knot portion can stand out a little more. I think it looks a little cuter that way instead of being a tight knot. And once you have done your knot, make sure that it is covering the seam of the scrunchie. And just in the middle of the knot, I'm going to sew it together just to make sure that the knot doesn't come undone and that it stays covering the seam of the scrunchie. Once you are done sewing the scarf portion in place, make sure to just cut all the threads as close as possible to the fabric. And that is it. If you guys enjoyed this little tutorial into my sewing diary slash series, make sure to like this video, comment what you guys would like to see me attempt to make next. And I hope you all enjoyed this little video. I know it isn't the most extravagant sewing, but I'm starting somewhere, and hopefully I can start making more and better, harder pieces. But yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you all for watching.